jump into school this week, okay? So this week is a special week. It is our Excellence Week. It's our yearly celebration of Black History Month, okay? So we'll go through each day, and you'll be introduced to a lot of amazing people who contributed to many different aspects of history. All the different fields like math, science, art, philanthropy, education, all of things, athletic, doctors, all of these people that have contributed and became excellent in their fields, okay? So this week isn't about memorizing names, it's not memorizing dates, it's about being introduced to people you might not have heard of who actually have direct impact in you and how you live your life, okay? And many of these people faced a lot of hardship, okay, through their lives, but still remained, excellent in what they did and tried their best to impact others in really good, meaningful, deep ways. Okay, so as you go through this week and as you learn about all of these different people, I really hope that you can kind of be inspired, okay, about facing, adversity and being able to overcome, and not only overcome, but be amazing and be able to change and affect change. So I really hope this week you can think about all of the people, all the names you hear, and I think you'll be surprised because you're going to realize how much of your life, okay, the things that you do in your life, the things that, you go to, medicine, technology, all of this math, all of these things are connected to people you didn't know about, okay? So I really hope that this week you can really learn about a lot of people. We will have a party on Monday, okay? So we'll do a complete week of excellence. So we will be having a party on Monday. Some student council members are looking at like, what? That, we'll talk about that later. So we will end Excellence Week on Monday, and then also every homeroom, you as a homeroom class will come together and you will come up with Kahoot questions about the people you learned the previous day. So as you're listening and as you're learning about people throughout the day, I want you guys to think about that as well. Okay, so I'll introduce that a little more after, but today we have a wonderful introduction into Excellence Week. She has, strived for excellence and she's overcome a lot, and she's here with us. She's part of our community, a beloved member of our community, Miss Ann Andre, also known as Naira's mom. Let's give her a hand.
So that wasn't embarrassing at all. Good morning. Well, this first is unmasked. Good morning, BIA students and staff. Thank you for having me this morning. So today, as you know, as Mrs. Ice spoke about, this is the week of excellence, but excellence should not just be limited to 1 month or 1 day or 1 week. How we define excellence is what we do on a daily basis in order to continue to do better. So Black History Month. So Sankofa is one of the terms that I have used in order to keep pushing forward towards my excellence. And what does Sankofa mean? It is a verb and it says meaning to go back and get it. My extended meaning is you have to know where you come from in order to know where you're going. So now, I will speak about excellence, and when I speak about excellence, I will talk of myself. So I was born and raised in New York City. Has anyone ever been to New York City before? Yeah. Okay, yeah. Not just on the weekends, right? So as you know, New York City is quite vivid. And there's a lot going on there. Many cultures, many different experiences that you can have all in one sitting, especially riding the trains, right? Has anyone seen any TikToks about what happens on the New York City trains? Yes, and what happens from time to time in different spaces. So I grew up in that very colorful city where I was exposed to a lot of culture. I'll just skip to high school, meaning that this is a high school. I went to a vocational high school. It was called Mabel D. Bacon Vocational High School. And there, in the New York City schools, we had the opportunity to choose a career that we wanted in order to, when we graduate, we'll be able to get into the workforce and start our career from there. So I chose nursing. So I chose the licensed practical nurse program. So upon graduating, I did my internship at the age of 16 at Kohler Memorial Hospital on Roosevelt Island in New York City. So some would think that that's a very young age to kind of like start within that career, but what I learned that I was getting into a career of service, right? Giving back to others, being able to care for others, and seeing how I could move up the ladder to see how I can do more to help. So in graduating from Macon Vocational High School, I went off to college as well. I said, you know, I'm gonna be a registered nurse. But when I got to college, I realized, wow, there's so much more that I can possibly do. So what I did was I challenged myself to say, in the event that this does not work for me, what else can I do? What will I have to fall back on? So I challenged myself to not be limited to one thing and be great at many things. So in the event one thing does not work out, I'll be able to do something else that I love just as much. So I went through nursing. I was in the performing arts as well. So between dance, acting, and you know what they call the triple threat, dancing, acting, singing. So I got into the arts as well. Later on, I did do a Broadway production. It was called Fela. And that kind of, most people were just like, well, how did you get here? I got here because I studied to be there. So the thing is, when I talk about going into different things that you really are passionate about, even if it's a hobby that you can make into a career or something that can generate some type of cash for you on the side of what you're already doing, those are things to push for. But make sure that you do them well so that no one can ever close the door on you and say that you're not able to do it. Whether you do it for yourself or for another company or organization. So between the performing arts, so we had nursing, that's my timeline. We had the performing arts, and then I became a health educator. I said, you know, I would like to teach people how to care for themselves a little bit better. So health education, I got a bachelor's in health education and promotion. And then I also started working at a lab. So I would say between the years of 2000 until 2004, I worked for Quest Diagnostics. So that was working in a laboratory. You're drawing blood, you're kind of like moving all of the specimens around and putting things in a centrifuge, which is basically what separates the blood from the fluids in the blood and everything like that. Gushy stuff. But did that, and I did that all the way up until I had my beautiful unborn Joy. And what did I do after that? I went back into the performing arts and I started to create a different world for myself, where healthcare was involved, where performing arts was involved, but also what did that look like for me to have the time and the space in order to recreate me once again. So then that's when I decided, you know what, I'll go into business for myself. So what was that? I started working as a corporate catering manager for large firms in New York City. So how did you even get into? My mother asked, what happened to your nursing? I thought you were doing that other, crazy stuff on the stage. Now what? I said, there's always more. So I said, you know what, corporate catering it is. Got into corporate catering. Mind you, I was vegan at the time, and you're around all of these really good foods and desserts and meats and all kinds of things. And I said, you know what, I'm gonna give it a try. So I got there, and I started from the bottom. I was a waitress, well, what they call a cater waiter. So you work these big events. But what's good about being a cater waiter was we were at the Met Gala, we were at Lincoln Center, we were at the Met Opera. So it's just different experiences, right? Working for big companies like Charles Schwab and large financial firms. So I got a chance to meet a lot of people, a lot of celebrities I was exposed to, and just a lot of beauty. And you think, with everything that these people have, why can't I have it as well? Because there's always more. So there's enough for everyone, and there's enough for everyone and room for everyone to be exactly and do what they would like to do. So in doing that, I then said, you know what? Now what? And then I went into education. So now I teach in the New York City public schools as a special education teacher, generalist. I teach 7th and 8th grade for right now for students with emotional disturbance. So it's never a dull moment in my classroom. Not at all. So you just never know what you're going to get every day. One day you'll get everyone sitting just as you are, nice and quiet. The next day it's snap, crackle, pop. You just never know. So, so it's been an interesting journey since September for me. Starting that. I've worked in the public schools and private sector for a long time as well, where I worked with, After I decided to work in corporate catering, while I was doing that, I also got my master's in educational theater. So with that is where I started teaching in the classrooms, and I said, you know what, I can do this full time as a teacher. So although my students, they have emotional disturbance, they are special education students, they are very brilliant. And my goal is to always find out what it is about them that makes them tick, that will grab their attention and for them to actually learn. It's not about the behavior. Yes, you must manage behaviors first, but what type of excellence can I pull out of them? So they each have a special skill or a special thing that is really unique about them that I tend to pull out of them. And I focus there, and I either group them up or put them into individual work so that they continue to excel. It doesn't have to be that because they're labeled as special education or emotional disturbance that they should be pushed to the wayside. What is it that you can draw out of them? That's my challenge, to get up and go every day. Outside of that, I would quit every day. As I did the first month. Every morning I woke up, I was like, I think I quit today. And I would go anyway. So as time went on, I said, okay, we just have to take the time out to figure it out. So I say all of this to say, you are at a tender age where you are now creating your excellence. And what does that mean to you? Can someone tell me what is excellence and what does that mean for you? Oh God, too many hands. Oh, don't make me cold call like I do my students. Uh-oh, the finger's going. The finger's going. There you go.
Like being the best person that you can be.
Being the best person that you can possibly be. Not for anyone else, not competing with anyone else, but the best person that you can possibly be for yourself. So although a lot of the things that I chose to do or go into were strange for friends and for family, those were the things that worked for me and what made me good at what I did and happy about it as well. Because you want to be happy about it, yes? You would not like to get into a career and you're just there because your parents said so. I come from a French Caribbean background where you are either going to be a doctor, a lawyer, a nurse, an engineer, or a president. There's nothing in between. So for them, thinking that you're going into dance, thinking that you're going into teaching, teaching is fine, but are you a professor? You know, that kind of thing. So there's always that rise for excellence. But what makes you happy? So long as it makes you happy and makes you some money, okay? We're not going to keep that out there, okay? So happiness is one thing, but you have to be able to sustain yourself and take care of yourself as well, especially if you're planning on having families later on, okay? You have to have something to bring to the table for yourself and not have to rely on anyone else. So that term of excellence. What is your name, young man?
Sam?
Sam, thank you, Sam, for sharing that. Elephants and storms, okay. So we have here a quote from Maya Angelou. Do the best you can until you know better. Then when you know better, you do better. That is one of my terms. I'm sure Nara hates to hear it all the time. If you know better, you're just going to have to do better. I can't drag you along, but if you know better, which a lot of us do, we just choose not to do the right thing sometimes, yes? There's always that voice that's like, yeah, do it! But fight that voice and continue to push on. Because you don't want to make up later for what you can do now, especially while it's not on your dime. Okay? So how do you create your excellence? I found ways to create mine. I challenge you to figure out how do you define your excellence and what you'll do in order to get there. But just know that it's a journey. There's no race. And you can always try different things so long as you're doing them in good timing for yourself and continue to build towards a direction. Okay? Thank you very much, VIA. Thank you for having me.
Okay, let's give her another round of applause. That was really an amazing way to start Excellence Week, okay? So I really want you to think about her words and think about you and your path, okay? And what foundation are you laying down? Where can you go? But also keeping in mind, there's so much out there that you can strive for. So as you go through this week, each of your teachers will introduce someone new for each of your classes, okay? They'll have a little video to show, to introduce you to another historical figure. So I want you to listen to these videos, watch them, learn about a lot of new people. I hope that you will recognize some faces, but I really hope that most of them are really new to you, and you'll be able to learn a lot, okay? And then again, and homerooms tomorrow, your homeroom teachers are going to say, okay, we need to contribute I think it's two Kahoot questions. So you have to come up as a group with Kahoot questions. They're going to be emailing those to me, and I'm going to make a mega Kahoot that you will have at your party on Monday. And there may be some prizes involved. Okay, yes, Adam, question. No, not free periods. That's very good. Yeah, no, not free periods. Okay? Are there any questions? Okay, Mr. Kingsley did want to come up and do one announcement, so let's welcome up Mr. Kingsley.
Morning again, just a quick few announcements. The telethon, we're going to have our last pizza work party tomorrow. So I'm just going to go around today, bring this sign-up sheet. If you have an act to perform or you need to still work on, highly encourage you to attend it. It's the last one we'll have, so just make sure to see me if you're interested in attending tomorrow. It'll be from 3 to 6 p.m. Lots of pizza, soda, all that good stuff. Other thing also, video submissions for telethon are due on March 4th. So you have a few weeks, so if you have any questions, concerns, need any support getting that going, come see me or Ms. Shapiro or Mr. Swartz. We're here to support any way we can. That's all I got. Thank you.
Okay, with all that being said, just a reminder, you've got only a couple more weeks in this quarter, okay? So it is a time to talk to teachers, okay? Say, what can I do to help my grade, not what can you do, right? Okay? So have a great week.